My friend, this one took everyone by surprise. While fans were hoping for regular reinforcements, the front office went out and destroyed them where no one expected. A bold, strategic move that could set the season on fire. Before we reveal everything, like and subscribe now, because you deserve to know firsthand who's coming to change the game for the Eagles. Just 6 months ago, it seemed like the Philadelphia Eagles and Washington Commanders were destined for a long battle for the NFC Championship. The two teams faced off in the NFC Championship, with the Eagles emerging victorious thanks to a dominant defensive performance and the unwavering leadership of Jalen Hurts. Jaden Daniels showed flashes of brilliance for Washington, but it wasn't enough to overcome Philadelphia's relentless pace, physicality, and decisive play. Today, the entire narrative is crumbling for the Commanders before the first snap of the preseason. What should have been a summer of excitement and preparation turned into a media storm, all thanks to a contract impasse involving their main offensive weapon, wide receiver Terry McLaurin. Let's be clear, McLaurin isn't just another playmaker. He's the heart of Washington's offense, the kind of player who can turn a 5-yard slant into a 60-yard touchdown. He's known for his route accuracy, strong hands, and fearless mentality in the middle, but none of that matters if he's not on the field. This week, McLaurin made headlines across the NFL when he broke his silence on ongoing contract negotiations, declaring, "Without progress in these negotiations, it's hard to imagine me performing at my best on the field." It wasn't just a subtle dig, it was a clear and direct warning from the Commanders' front office. And now, the clock is ticking. McLaurin is signing the final year of a $22.7 million annual contract. A respectable amount, but one that suddenly seems outdated. Just look at the numbers. Garrett Wilson of the New York Jets just signed a 4-year, $130 million contract, and McLaurin surpassed him in both passes and touchdowns through 2024. This new contract has given McLaurin's agent a huge bargaining chip, and he's not about to let it go. Age may be a drawback for Terry, as he's several years older than Wilson, but his production is undeniable. He's consistently been elite, often playing with an average, or worse, quarterback. His resume speaks for itself, and now he wants to be paid accordingly. But what about the Commanders? They're stalling, and with each passing day, the tension grows. If this drama extends into training camp or even the regular season, Washington could be facing a nightmare scenario. Without McLaurin, their receiving core is dangerously weak. Deebo Samuel is still productive, but has struggled to stay healthy over the past 2 years. Zach Ertz is a veteran presence, but he's past his prime and better suited as a TE2 than a primary target. Plus, the Commanders are relying on unproven talent to fill the void left by their star. Suddenly, their offense seems less explosive, less loud, and significantly easier to defend, especially for a defensive unit like Philadelphia's, which already stifled them in last year's postseason run. And this is where things get interesting for Eagles fans. The NFC East is always competitive, always a close fight, but this latest development could tip the balance of power even further in Philadelphia's favor. While the Commanders try to put out fires and rebuild confidence with their best player, the Eagles are refining a well-oiled machine, adding talent and creating cohesion at all levels. In a division where every inch matters, losing a star like McLaurin, even temporarily, could cost Washington everything: momentum, locker room confidence, fan confidence, and ultimately, playoff hopes. What was once a looming threat to the Eagles' division title now feels more like a time on the brink of internal collapse. And that's just the beginning, because while turmoil surrounds the Commanders, the Eagles are preparing to reveal a new facet of their defense, a player built on faith, grit, and a relentless pursuit of overcoming adversity. When Howie Roseman selected Jihad Campbell in the 2025 NFL Draft, he knew he was getting more than just a stat-filling linebacker. He was getting a leader. Despite recovering from a torn labrum suffered at Alabama, Campbell's attitude and focus captivated Eagles insiders. And now, fans are starting to feel the same. In an interview with CBS Sports' Jeff Kerr, Campbell approached his rehabilitation process with a maturity far beyond his years. "The main goal is to come back healthy and strong," he said. "It's about trusting God's plan and becoming the best version of myself." That kind of mindset stands out in a league of ego-driven and quick returns. Campbell isn't rushing, he's building, and everything he's built points to long-term success. Let's not forget that Campbell led Alabama with 117 tackles last season. He dominated in tackles for loss, sacks, and even interceptions. He's a versatile weapon, someone defensive coordinator Vic Fangio sees as a future key player, much like Cooper DeJean. While Nakobe Dean and Zach Bond are currently in the starting lineup, Dean's injury issues could pave the way for Campbell to make an early impact. Nick Sirianni hasn't released definitive details for his return yet, but all signs point to him debuting in mid-August. Fans are excited, coaches are hopeful, and if Campbell fulfills the potential he demonstrated at Alabama, the Eagles' defense could become a formidable threat. But as time shifts toward the future, one former Eagle is still stuck in the past, and he's making headlines again, for all the wrong reasons. Sometimes the hardest hardest part of moving on is accepting why it all happened. For former Eagles safety C.J. Gardner-Johnson, that lesson still hasn't sunk in. Months after being traded to the Houston Texans, the Super Bowl champion continues to try to recreate the kind of franchise that helped him reach the pinnacle of the NFL. On a recent episode of The Pivot podcast, hosted by Ryan Clark, Gardner-Johnson was asked directly why the Eagles traded him. His answer? They were afraid of a competitor. That's right. The outspoken safety believes Philadelphia cut ties with him, not because of salary cap space, roster needs, or scheme changes, but because they couldn't handle his alpha mentality. An irony? This is a franchise built on competition, a front office that brought in stars like Saquon Barkley, retained Jalen Hurts, and recruited elite talent year after year. The idea that Howie Roseman, a general manager who thrives on building championship-caliber rosters, would give up on Gardner-Johnson out of fear is frankly absurd. Yet despite the trade and his fresh start in Houston, Gardner-Johnson continues to stir things up. One moment, he praises Philadelphia's culture. The next, he accuses the team of feeling threatened by his presence. While fans have appreciated his contributions on the field, many are tiring of his off-field commentary. Do the collapse of their main rival, the arrival of a linebacker with a championship mentality, and the controversial overtures of a former Eagle reveal that Philadelphia is stronger and more united than ever to win the NFL in 2025? Leave your opinion here. Don't forget to leave your like and subscribe to the channel, but later I will come back to update you with the latest news from the Eagles.